Okay guys, today we're going to shoot out the Marshall JCM200 dual super lead with my Splawn Nitro, and we're going to find out if riffs matter. In other words, if the riffs you're playing really matter when you're shooting out amplifiers. You got to pick the right amp for the right riffs or the right style of music that you're playing. So let's see if all that stuff matters, and let's see which one we prefer depending on what riffs I'm playing through each amplifier. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I have the JCM200 dialed in, and I'm using the Mud Killer with it. Now, yeah, I know a bunch of you right now are screaming and crying and filling your pants full of dookie because I'm not using a Boss Super Overdrive with the Marshall. I don't have one, okay? And I forgot to grab one when I picked this up at Motor City the other day, but to be honest with you, it's not going to make that big of a difference. I mean, the Mud Killer is a very versatile pedal, and I'm sure that if I did a blind test for you guys between the Mud Killer and the Super Overdrive, none of you would be able to pick which one was which, because I think the Mud Killer is, again, very versatile. So this is how I have the Mud Killer set up. I have a little bit of gain in it, like you would with the Super Overdrive. It's at 9 o'clock. I have the level cranked, and I even have the tone cranked on it to give it that little extra bite. And here's a look at the amp. So what I did is I engaged the deep switch, but I had to bring the bass way down to accommodate for that. So that's what I did there. And then I have the gain not cranked. It's at like just under 8. Which is basically just under 3 o'clock, and I'm on lead 2. So let's just give this a listen and see what it sounds like. Sounds really good. You know, I think that's as good as I can get it. I'd go through the whole dial-in process, but I'm just trying to spare you guys of all that crap and give you all that ear fatigue. It's just me playing a bunch of garbage riffs and searching for things while I dial in an amp, and it's not fun to watch. All right, so just trust me. This is as good as I can get this amp to sound. I'm sure there's some wizards of smart out there somewhere that will disagree with me, but hey, start your own channel. Yeah, that's what YouTube's all about. Start your own channel and show everyone how you do it better. All right, so we're going to play a couple riffs on both of these amplifiers to just compare which one's better for different types of riffs, or maybe one will be better for all the different kinds of riffs. So it's really up to you to decide. I'm just going to leave that up to you. I'll give you my opinion for what it's worth, but whatever. So let's start off with an awesome classic Van Halen riff or two and see how they compare with that. Now, just so you know as well, when I use the Splawn Nitro, I will be also using the Mud Killer, but I'm going to have it set up differently. I'm going to have the gain all the way down on it, and I think the rest of it will be the same, but I'm going to definitely turn the gain down because the Nitro has way more gain, and it's definitely a more modern sounding amplifier. So anyways, just wanted to put that out there for all the crybabies. Oh, and by the way, when you don't see anything down there, that means I'm playing the Marshall. And when you do see a picture of an amp down there, that's the amp I'm playing, which will be the Splawn Nitro. All right, so first of all, I had to make a little more changes to the Mud Killer than I thought I would. So I turned the, obviously the gain all the way down, and I had the fat skinny knob at around 1 o'clock, and I have it back down to 11 o'clock. and I have the tone at 3 o'clock instead of cranked. And it's basically because the Nitro is definitely tighter, more modernly voiced, and more aggressive. So made some subtle changes to the pedal just to even them out. But anyways, I think both of them sounded really good. It depends on really what you're looking for. You know, if you want a more aggressive version of an amplifier, then I would say go for the Nitro. If you like that really classic sound that the Marshall has, well then go for that. I think both of them were suitable for the, you know, the riff I was playing. I mean, either way, I mean, that to me is one of Eddie's most metal riffs ever. I mean, that was a pretty metal riff. So I think either one would go good with that. I think the Splawn is a little more responsive, a little easier to play, but you know, the Marshall was still a lot of fun to play. So now let's do another Van Halen riff that's a little less on the metal side and see how they compare with that. Yeah, I think both of them sounded really good there as well. I enjoyed playing the Splawn a little bit more because I'm just used to like the higher gain modern amplifiers because they're just a little more tighter and responsive. But that being said, I enjoyed playing through the Marshall as well. I'm getting to know this amp a little more the more I play it. And it is a pretty damn cool amp. It really is, you know. It might take me a few days to acclimate to it and really dig into it and everything, but it is cool. I do get why people like these amps. Lots of great clarity, and the tones are great, you know, so it really depends on what you like. I think both amps are amazing. I mean, you could pretty much flip a coin over both of these amplifiers, but depending on your taste, you'll pick one over the other. Now I got one more riff for you before we switch gears and go into the modern era and see how they compare with that. So let's do some docking. I like them both. I know I keep saying that, but I like them both. So I'll leave it up to you to decide. And, you know, I think depending on my mood, I'd pick one over the other. But I always tend to veer towards the more modern amplifiers. I love the way they feel. You know, they're a little more responsive, but Yeah, I think both of them sound really good. I mean, if you really want to nail that classic tone, obviously you're going to go with the JCM200. But that being said, the Nitro sounded amazing with that as well. All right, so now let's kick it up a notch with some more modern riffs. I mean, I guess I'll play one of my own. I don't know if it's modern or not, but I just wrote it a year ago, so I would like to think that it's modern. So let's go ahead and try that now. Well, with the more modern riff, I really see the Splawn Nitro pulling way ahead of the Marshall. I mean, the Marshall sounded good, but you can tell where it's lacking when it comes to the modern riffs. I mean, you know, when you're playing the modern riffs, you want something that's a little tighter, more aggressive, and more responsive. And the Nitro definitely has that, where you can really hear the softness that's coming out of the Marshall and a little bit of the fizziness as well. And, you know, for its time, it was an amazing amplifier, and I still think it's an amazing amplifier. I just think it comes down to what style of music are you playing and what types of riffs are you playing, and you got to pick the best amp that's most suitable for those riffs and that style of music. Well, guys, I hope you liked this episode and got something out of it. If you did, please hit the like. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me in the algorithm. And I want to once again thank Motor City Guitar for allowing me to take the Marshall JCM200 home so that I can do some demos and some shootouts for you guys. I really appreciate that. And if you're looking to buy some awesome gear, there's an affiliate link to Motor City Guitar in the description of this video. Click on that, get some awesome gear for yourself, and for right now, you don't pay any sales tax if you buy from them and you live outside of the state of Michigan. They ship faster than any other company out there, so you'll get your stuff really quick and you'll get a great deal on it, and you'll support an awesome store, and you'll support my channel as well. I really appreciate that. To all my subscribers and Patreon supporters, thank you guys so much. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with another episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys. I'll see you on the next one.